Welcome to Stock Talk. This is your host Scott. Hope you had a good week of trading. We had a halfway decent week, down a little bit, but not anything terrible. Had to give back a little bit what we made the week before. But did have some good sales this week where we were able to pocket some money, and so that's always good when you're retired and trying to make sure you're paying for your time off. So we did that, and good week as far as that goes. So we're going to take a look at the portfolio and talk about what happened the past week. And there's some pretty good movement on the Bitcoin type stocks, and so we're going to talk about that as well. All right, so let's jump over to the portfolio, take a look at where we're at. All right, so here's our portfolio, as you can see here. Got the new one here, and it's not in the thumbnail, but I actually forgot to put it in the thumbnail, but we did buy some Apple last week when they were having their earnings. We bought prior to earnings. We had some cash on the sideline in one of the IRAs, so went ahead and put that cash to work on Apple, just thinking, maybe it would get a pop. If it did, we'd make some quick money. If not, Apple's not going anywhere, so but it did drop a little bit after the earnings came out. Not quite back to where we bought it. We bought it at 146.48, so we're just going to try to get back out of that one, on the green side just a little bit or even. That was mainly just trying to do a quick play. So we're going to try to sell out of that one about 146.50, just try to get our cash back on the sideline. We are low on cash. We're in the IRAs anyway. We're down to 2.3% cash, so I'm pretty much all in on the IRAs right now. Don't want to stay there, but we did that for a reason, because we had a feeling that some of these things were fixing to move. We were correct on one. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But so even though we're only 2% cash, we did make a sell in the cash account, which we were able to put 50%, almost 50% of that into cash. So we'll talk about that shortly. So anyway, Apple is the new one that we're holding, but we're just going to try to do a break even on that and get the cash back on the sideline. But you can see here for the week, we'll pull that up for the 5-day chart here. I think the earnings was Thursday after market, and you can see here, let's pull up that 5-day. You can see not much happened since then. You can see pretty close to flat. So we're just going to wait and see if we can get up to around here, somewhere like that, 146.50 even. We'd take that, but something like that next week, and we'll be right back out of that one. Okay, so that's Apple. Always a good one to hold. I mean, it's not going to go anywhere. It's one of the FANG stocks, so everybody likes that one. One that we did sell last week was MPC. Let's take a look at that. Now, we weren't in it very long, and it had gone green on us shortly after we bought it, so actually was up a little bit more on it, but wanted to put some of that money. The reason I sold it was I wanted to put some of that money into NVAX. So we did that. That's what we did with the proceeds of that, and bought some more MSTR with it. But we did sell that. We had it for maybe a week. We made 1.16% on that. So that's CD money, what I like to call CD money in a week. And it was a very large stake as far as the amount goes on it. So at $55 a share, we had a good bit of money in it across the board in both. Let's see, I think I did have that in both IRAs. 1.16%. It might have been, no, that was the cash account. I'm sorry, that was the cash account. We had that in 1.16%. So we did sell that and put it right back to work. I think it was the next day or so. MSTR, we bought some of that as well. We added to MSTR, bought that MSTR at 625, 636, and then NVAX we added to that too around the 177 mark. And so we were all loaded up with MSTR and NVAX in the cash account, and well, we did sell some MSTR in the cash account. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But here's MPC, and you can see here we did buy it at a pretty good price. I forget what the price was, but we did buy it, and it did run up, but then it started pulling back down. I think it was, let's see here, might have been, yeah, it came down a little bit on Thursday, I think, was when we sold it, when it started coming back down, and then that's when we got back into this MSTR and others. So, all right, so there's, you see that there, 5-day, and nice little quick money there, 1.16%, good size stake. And so then we got Bitcoin here. Bitcoin has been on a pretty good move. It looks like it's red here, but it's actually had a pretty good move the last week or so. We'll pull up the 5-day chart. You can see here this thing has hit 42 several times in the last few days. We got down here, pulled down to about 38, and then it's gone up to 42. So that's been good for us. And what that did, actually, it started coming up. Friday after the market closed, Bitcoin started turning green, and it moved some of our other stocks like HUT and MSTR. So we're going to talk about that here in just a second. But Bitcoin's been going up the last few days. SPCE, Virgin Galactic, nothing really going on there. Didn't do anything with anything last week. You can see here, pretty much flat, down a little bit for the week. Nothing really going on there with that one. Volume's low. But HUT's been kind of going up with Bitcoin. So let's take a look at that. You can see the 1-day chart had a pretty good little move there, 4%. Looks like we're down for the 5-day, but it just seems like it was having a better week than that, but it's evidently not had that great of a week, but it did have a good day Friday. And the volume was about normal, a little bit over normal. So nothing to brag about there with HUT. MSTR, now here's the one that we did unload. You can see here it closed at 626. And then as Bitcoin was going up in the after hours, this thing actually hit 653 or something like that. And so we did sell. We sold at 647. MSTR, we'd had it, probably a few weeks, I think it was. We sold that for 2.31%. So probably had it about a month, I believe. We sold it. This is in the cash account, 2.31%. So that's what that's what got us to the selling MPC, and that got us to the 50% cash level on our cash account. So that's a good place to be. We're going to be ready for next week, especially if any of these pull back again. So we're ready to get back to work in the cash account. Unfortunately, we're probably going to be paying a tax man a lot this year, so we keep making all these good trades in the cash account. But hey, like I said, nobody ever goes broke paying a tax man. So, all right, so MSTR we did sell. We had bought it earlier again at 625, 636. Ended up selling even what we bought. I think we bought some of that this week, and we sold it out at 647 in after hours. So that was pretty fun on Friday. Bitcoin was going up pretty good on that at that time as well. Now, one reason I wanted to sell too is I've been watching NVAX. I've been kind of pulling back a little bit here, and so we were way up here at the beginning of the week, 200 range, and now we're all the way back down to 179, 180. So time to buy some more of that probably. We did buy some, added to it at 177 this week. Okay, 177.07 and 177.37. So that's pretty much all we're holding right now in our cash account. Now we got another half amount to put back into it. So we may go all in on that NVAX on the cash account this week. They do have earnings coming up this week. Earnings really is not that big a deal right now, but we're still waiting on the news for the approvals here, and once those approvals come out, that's going to make this thing move pretty good to the upside, I believe, and so that's kind of what we're waiting on for that one on NVAX. but we probably will go all in on it. I'm not sure. It just depends. It depends what MSTR does too. If it pulls back pretty good, we might go right back into that one, or MPC too. Those three right there are the ones I'm kind of watching in that cash account. TLRY had a little bit of a couple of days anyway. Let me see here. Yeah, see, here's a good little pop this week. Got it up here, and then it kind of gave back some Friday, but had a pretty decent week considering. Nothing major though. If you look at the overall week, but you're talking about almost $1, over $1, so that's pretty good. Nothing wrong with that for the week. Long ways off on that one though. We're not worried about having to sell it anytime soon. NICL. I'm not going to venture to what to say on this one. I can't remember how the week went. I think it was halfway okay, but no, it looks like it was down week for this one. So it did pull back a little bit this week. We don't like to see that. And their volume's pretty heavy too. About 16.5 million shares versus 11.5 normal. So that's not good. What came out was some old news, really. We were way up here, and some old news came out about the what was it, CEO, I guess he was, the founder. It says his founder, Trevor Milton, pleaded not guilty on 3 fraud charges. Well, that's old news. This was all old news. And so when that stuff came out, it dropped. So not sure why. I mean, it's all old news. And we're getting beat up for it again. So, but it had been actually moving up pretty decent. Let's look at that 1 month chart. You can't really tell it here, but it had a pretty good week run there. You can see here. And then it got knocked right back down. So that is a bad looking chart for a month. I mean, it's just from up here, you're just heading down. So nothing to be getting excited about there. Not going to be adding to it, that's for sure. The week again, we didn't do too terrible. Came out pretty close to even for the week, I believe it was, maybe a little bit down. We did have some payouts this week, or no, that was last week, but it was down a little bit, but we could have done a lot worse considering. Had a pretty good little help from some of our Bitcoin stocks. Did hold up pretty good this week. So, but mainly it's NVAX pulled us down for the week. It was, like I said, 200 level, and that's at the 177. So we're kind of loaded up on that one. So, but we may even be more loaded come this week, depending on what it does. Earnings this week, so if they beat earnings, it might help them. Earnings, they might have some more updates as far as approvals and application for approvals, whatever. If they don't, and they give a delay on it, that's going to be terrible for the stock. So it will be definitely pulling back. So maybe a good idea just to hang on to that cash until we hear whatever's happening. I think the earnings is either Wednesday or Thursday, so we'll be watching that one. Did not get a chance to get on here Friday. I do apologize for that, but I was tied up on some things, so just trying to get on here tonight, kind of update you what we did last week. We may be back on here as early as tomorrow night, maybe Tuesday or so, just to give an update on what we've done the first couple of days of the week. All right, so we did get a little bit behind today. Do apologize for that, but if you like the videos, don't forget to click that like button, and don't forget to subscribe by clicking this button. It's going to pop up right here. All right, well, I hope you had a great rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you later on in the week. Thanks. Bye.